What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 119. We're starting this off on the back of our scrape victory over Real Betis. We look at our Champions League group, as you can see, after Leverkusen and Benfica have won 1 each. Spartak Moscow still yet to get a point. We are top of the group with 6 points, 2 wins from 2, heading to our trip to Portugal for today's episode opener. And I said it last season, we had Benfica in the group of AC Milan. We went on to win the whole competition. Benfica's stadium is iconic. The fact it's now in FIFA, well, I like to use this phrase, better late than never. It's a brilliant ground, and it looks so aesthetically pleasing in the game as well. So taking on Benfica away from home, the Portuguese side, aiming to make it 3 straight wins, and 13 minutes in, we had the early breakthrough. Ansu Fati giving us the lead. I said it, and I always say it, when your draw is made for a Champions League or Europa League or Europa Conference League group now, if you will, get out of it as quickly as you can. I mean, seriously, if you can do it in 4 games, absolutely brilliant. Knowing you can rest players match day 5, match day 6, it's a really big luxury knowing you don't have to field a fully strength side for those games there. And there's no pressure, you can rest your players. It's such a big luxury, especially because, as we know, in the football calendar, December is normally hectic. So yeah, we were 1-0 up in Benfica. Streniak made a great save, and Gutierrez blazed over as the score was still 1-0. I felt we'd been the better team in the game. I just couldn't find that second goal that I knew would probably kill the contest off. We had the chances, great save by Van der Voort there, and then Correa, Neymar's regen, firing over as it was still 1-0. And 5 minutes to go, holding on to the 3 points that will continue our 100% start in the Champions League group. Benfica looking for one late chance. Mate finds Dantas. Great back heel to Mavididi, and the English winger makes it 1-1 and gives Benfica the leveller with just a few minutes to go. And I was thinking, this is deja vu. Do you remember last season with AC Milan? We came to Benfica, we were leading throughout the game, we've been the better team, and then late on João Mario scored an equaliser. It's deja vu. It's happened again. Scored the early goal, played the better football, but didn't take our chances. Got punished right at the end. Yeah, Mavididi, the former Montpellier winger, giving Benfica a big point. And again, just complete deja vu, man. That happened last year with Milan and happens this year with Real Madrid as well. The only bonus is knowing that we're still clear by 3. Leverkusen, Spartak Moscow, so they and Benfica both have 4 points each. The Russians are finally scratched. They got their first point in the group, but we're still 3 points clear, 3 games to go. We're still favourites to make it through and as group winners as well. It's a disappointing slip up there away in Portugal, but I wasn't too surprised because we only just came through Real Betis. And every single season, no matter how well you play, there's always a struggling patch of form somewhere in the season where things just aren't going according to plan. And for our following game, Valencia away at the Steyr, massive game here. With the hosts right now in second place, really couldn't afford to lose this game, even so early on to the season. Well, just 5 minutes in, they had the first chance. A great save by Streniak, kept it at 0-0. But after Pedro Porro went up for the aerial duel, he came down, got sandwiched, and was forced off on the stretcher. Menezes comes on, Porro goes down. And I always say it, I feel like now, I've played FIFA long enough, when a player goes down and gets injured, I can already tell probably how long it's going to be. Porro forced off there, unable to continue, and I knew that was going to be a bruised shoulder. So, following that, Valencia made a brighter start. We'd lost one of our key members of our backline to injury, and that's why 11 minutes in, I wasn't surprised to see the host take the lead as well. Yeah, Gabriel Martinelli, the former gunner, makes it 1-0 and puts Valencia in front of the Steyr. And like I said, this was a game they could ill afford to lose. So I wasn't surprised they came out of the blocks flying, looking to be the first team to beat us this season. And 30 minutes in, still up by a goal, they continue to push, look for another. And they would get it in style as well. Whilst the first goal, you could probably point the fingers at me for poor defending, there was nothing I could do about this. Diaz finds a bit of space, goes for goal from just outside the area, and Streniak's been incredible this season already. You can't blame him for that one. That is inch perfect of a long-range shot. Valencia 2, Real Madrid 0, and we were in unfamiliar territory at the Steyr. So 2-0 down for the first time all season long. Well, how would we respond? What were these Galacticos made of? We had 2 chances right towards the end of the first half. 2 headers, first well saved, and then Gutierrez firing wide as it was still 2-0. And in the second half, couldn't create that many chances. With half an hour to go, had a golden one. Melamed plays a brilliant through ball to Roberto, and our top scorer finally gets a goal to put us back in the game. Half the deficit, half an hour to go. But unfortunately we couldn't find a second. Final score at Mestalla, and there it is. It was going to come at some point. I don't think I'll ever have an unbeaten season ever again in FIFA career mode. I think with the AI being so much better on Ultimate, to beat them is one thing, to beat them consistently is another, but to do it for an entire season, I mean, that to me just seems like a really impossible task. So yeah, our first of the season comes there, and it goes from bad to worse. Pedro Porro, who was forced off on the stretcher inside the first 10 minutes. It's not the ACL I was expecting, but it is an LCL. Yeah, lateral collateral ligament for Pedro Porro. Is that right? He's done for 4 months though regardless, and we won't see him again until the new year. So that means that Joshua Wagnerman is going to come in and play right back. He's 5 ratings lower than Pedro Porro, so a big blow there, because defensively, we started off rock solid this season. I know I just shipped 2 goals there at Mestalla, but only 8 goals conceded in our first 10 games. We've been brilliant at the back, and Porro's been a big reason why. Going forward, surprisingly, he's not been as effective as he has been on the defensive end. It's the opposite of what I was expecting from Pedro Porro. If you watched my Barcelona realistic career mode last year, Porro was unbelievable in going forward, but at times a little bit shaky at the back. But this year, it's totally opposite. He's amazing defensively and only the 1 assist. However, Wagnerman will come in. He's the only fullback we inherited here at Real Madrid that I didn't sell, and I'm glad I didn't, because it will provide apt cover for Pedro Porro in the 4 months we'll be missing the former Man City right back. And so for the third game of today's episode at the Bernabeu back home, desperately need to return to winning ways in this one, because for the first time this season since we went top of the table, we were no longer leading the league. Yeah, our Madrid rivals leapfrogged us heading into the game, but if we'd win this game in hand, we'd go back into pole position. We took the early lead through Fati, his 5th goal of the season, already averaging 1 in every 2. Great start for former Barca wonder kid. And then Valverde gets our 2nd from range. Might have taken a slight deflection on its way in, but we will take it. 2-0 Real Madrid, and I guess I was just sort of in like revenge mode heading into this game. I've talked about it before, you know, I've mentioned it many times now. Like when you lose a game or you slip up in a game, sometimes you go into the next one and just a little bit aggressive, and you just think, I'm not going to lose this game. I'm going to win this one no matter what it takes. Yeah, we went 3-0 up in the first half. Roberto grabs another nil with 13 minutes to go. Still leading by 3. Gutierrez sent down the right-hand side. A chance to get our 4th, and his brace on the night, and he would do so. Great finish into the far corner, and we're back on track here. It goes straight through Real Betis. You know, the draw in Benfica was not a surprise after what happened last season, and losing to Valencia at Mestalla as well. You know, we cannot afford to go into bad form, because I talk about bad form in FIFA career mode a lot and how form is so OP, and that's why in FIFA CM, when you're in bad form, sometimes it just feels like your players are stuck in the mud. You can't make 5-yard passes and everything is going wrong. When you're in good form, your players are like supermen out there, and that's why the importance of form is so crucial. And I know it sounds a bit obvious, but if you're going to win silverware, you need to be in good form for the majority and the vast majority of the season. So yeah, trying to get back on track, and we did there with a big 4-0 win against Celta Vigo. And then for our 4th game of today's episode, Mallorca away from home, aims to get back-to-back wins for the first time in a few weeks. We take the lead through Ibanez, and I was delighted to see this as well. Threw into the first 11 for this game here against Mallorca after a bit of fixture congestion, and he scores our 1st of the game. Great camera angle as we make it 1-0. Robbie with the through ball, and I like this kid a lot. He was the first signing we made with Real Madrid on a free transfer to fit out the squad, but that's already his 2nd goal in 5, and in limited minutes. I'm liking the look of this kid, shows great potential, he's off to a good start, and whilst Valverde and Moreno are a brilliant CM duo, he's my backup CM at 18 years old. But I tell you what, at the moment the kid has proven himself when he gets given the game time. 1-0 Real Madrid, we almost doubled it soon afterwards. A great save, how he kept it at 1-0. As we still had a slender advantage going into the break. And in the second half, well, I always talk about it, I never feel comfortable only leading by 1. 51 minutes in, and the hosts would find their leveller on the island. Yeah, smacked in from range. Maybe Streniak, who's been great this season, could have done better, but it was here with a lot of power. Mallorca find their leveller, but a few minutes later I was like, no, absolutely not. I am not having 1 win in 4 in all competitions. That is not treble winning form. I need to win this one. And off the bench, our super sub would make it 2-1 and restore our lead. Musa with the finish restores our advantage, and thankfully would hold on for the 3 points in Mallorca as well. So it's not our stars in this game who got the job done for us, but Ibanez the kid and Musa the American off the bench get us the 3 points. And that's what we need as well in games like this one where Fatty's not on his game and Roberto's not playing his best despite getting the assist for the first goal. Ferran Torres maybe not being quite as effective. You know, we need someone else. We need the teammates, the supporting cast to step up. I've talked about it. You can't win trophies as a one-man team. It's a game of 11 players. Everyone on the pitch has got to play their part. And I talked about at the start of the season, for a treble, you need good squad depth where everyone plays their part well. That was a game where our bench players came up clutch there. Big victory away at Mallorca. And for our final game of today's episode, Benfica, reverse fixture, match day 4 in the Champions League group. Well, after our draw in Portugal, I was not going to let it happen again. We took a very early lead. Ferran Torres making it 1-0 on match day 4. And then Roberto! Oh, I've talked about it. This guy, the only thing he was lacking in the Brentford days was an aerial game. Well, since he joined Milan, he upped his game. He became a complete forward, getting assists as well as goals. Won the assist title last year, lest we forget, but also scores a lot more goals with his head now. That's already, I believe, his third of the season with his noggin. It's 2-0 Real Madrid, and that was how the game would finish as well. A much more comfortable win than the draw in Benfica. We get the 3 points, and that means as well the luxury of that win means with 2 games to go. Oh, I talk about it. Qualifying with games to spare is so crucial. We've done it. If we avoid defeat on match day 5 in Germany, will guarantee top spot as well due to the head-to-head record, and as we're 6 points clear of Benfica, qualification is in the bag. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching today's episode. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.